When the sun goes down, the stars come out. From deep in the heart of Texas, it's the Star at Night. Coming to you from the Cowboys facility at the Star in Frisco. With your hosts, Kelsey Charles and David Hellman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Star at Night. I am Kelsey Charles, joined by the ever so lovely one David H. Hellman. It's actually G, but next close
I'm
to
gonna
letters.
say that's not my middle initial, but all right, cool. Whatever.
Anyway,
let's go.
I'm totally indifferent on that, which I am not indifferent about this weekend's matchup against the Washington football team. Dave, Dallas has won the last 8 out of the 9 matchups between these two teams, but I'm not so sure. I feel confident that they're going to keep that streak alive. This team, it doesn't take much to win in the NFC East at the moment, but what exactly are we facing heading into DC this weekend?
Why should you feel confident? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is going to be a hammer fight is what it's going to be. It's just two bad teams. Like, one of them has a lead pipe and the other one has a crowbar, and they're just going to beat on each other until somebody wins.
Outside of the bar.
First team to like 17 points probably wins. Washington has the most terrifying pass rush that the Cowboys have faced. Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, 5 former first-round picks picked up that stat today. Oh, by the way, the Cowboys don't have an offensive line. Really, not to be too much of a bummer, Kelsey, but the narrative right now is the NFC East is bad. It's the Cowboys and Eagles are the best of the bad, and one of them has a great shot to win. Washington is sort of, maybe they don't want to admit it, but they're just trying to see what they have for next year, trying out Kyle Allen. Maybe Dwayne Haskins will get back into the mix. What if the Cowboys lose to this team? What does it say about them? What does it say about where their season's going if they lose this game? And I think it's a real possibility, which is what I'm thinking about right now.
What does it say about the fact that we're even discussing that possibility to begin with? I mean, it's tragic where we are. I've said it before. I couldn't have envisioned that we'd be here and be talking like we are right now. And the defense, yeah, it scares me. They're the number 6 ranked overall right now. But also, considering our defense and the state that it's in right now, their offense could have some weapons that could do some damage too. Scary Terry, we know he's a guy. He only has a touchdown on the year thus far, but listen, he's done some work against us before, and I could see him doing some work against us again. There's Cam Sims, Antonio Gibson in the backfield, 3 touchdowns already, 243 yards. We all know what we can do against the run, which is basically nothing, and we're making guys that are no ones look like they're someone. So I don't feel great. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be more optimistic, but I can't.
Let's be all right. I'll be the optimist, which is hilarious. I mean, this is one of the worst offenses in the NFL. That's why this is going to be a hammer fight. Like, this is not going to be a pretty game. Kyle Allen hasn't had a ton of success since they plugged him in. Terry McLaurin's fine. He's the only skill player that should really scare you on this team right now. So there's reason to believe the Cowboys can slow them down. There's reason to believe, but man, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it after what we've seen the last 3 or 4 weeks. It hasn't been there. Maybe it will be. I'm not expecting to have a lot of fun on Sunday, even if the Cowboys win. I think it's going to be rough.
Well, just considering the state of this division, as I said before, the NFC East is the only division in which each team has won a Super Bowl, but you wouldn't know it because as a whole, we only collectively have 5 wins. We brought in national NFL reporter Robert Mays to discuss just where do we go from here. So stay tuned for that and more next.
What's up, guys? I'm Ember Garcia and just want to invite you to check out Cowboys Break every day at 11:30 a.m. You got the boss man Derek Eagleton. You got Nick Eman with the storytelling If These Walls Could Talk. You got David Hellman, our local LSU homer and eyebrow rubber. And then you got me, who just calls it as it is. So make sure to check us out at 11:30 a.m. on all Dallas Cowboys platforms.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. She's Dave, I'm Kelsey as per usual. This week, we are once again joined, we had Kevin Clark last week, so we might as well get the other half of the old Ringer duo. So he's not with the Ringer anymore, but my buddy Robert Mays, he's now with The Athletic. He does the Athletic Football Show. For my money, I'm not just saying this because you agreed to do the show, one of the brightest minds covering the NFL right now. So
thanks, buddy.
It seemed like a good idea to get a bright person in here to just help me figure out what the hell's going on, man. Could you have imagined that we would be here already? I don't think that many people thought the Cowboys were really going to win the Super Bowl, but I mean, come on.
I thought they were going to be really good. I picked them to be the best team in the NFC. Trust me, I have so much egg on my face right now, considering what's happened for the first 6 weeks here. I mean, this is about as bad as it possibly could have gone. I mean, the Dak Prescott injury aside, that's just something you could never foresee. But even the stuff that you think would be within their control when it comes to coaching on defense, what the offense looks like structurally, in my mind, not Jason Garrett being the head coach was going to be a very important step. And handing the offense to Kellen Moore, that was as good as it was going to need to be. The offense was going to be great. They could figure something out on defense, and off we go. And just none of that has happened.
So I actually want to dive into that a little bit more because I think the coaching has kind of been a reason behind where people are blaming the lack of success. And then you see players and people are saying they're loafing. And I saw your tweet the other day and you said the Cowboys were caught sleeping, pretty much explains the last month of football in Dallas. And I could not be more in agreement with you. But who carries the majority of the blame for the current state of affairs in your mind?
Man, it's really hard to kind of divvy out blame because when players aren't executing, you can throw a lot of that on the players, but I also think that you have to throw some of that on the coaches for not establishing a plan that's easy to execute. And the offense, for as much as the raw numbers were there over when Dak Prescott was in the lineup, the efficiency still wasn't where it probably needed to be for this team to be truly reaching its potential. So I know the defense has been what people have kind of chalked up as a disaster, but I still expected the offense to be more efficient than they were, even with Dak at quarterback. So it's hard for me to say. I mean, I just think I wanted this offense to be more innovative and more exciting than the ones we saw under Jason Garrett. And so far, that really hasn't been the case. It's been more static than I expected. And the defense, I don't even know where to start. It's so hard to understand. I think Darius Butler put it was a great thing he pointed out on Twitter today. One of the corners on that Christian Kirk jet motion touchdown just didn't replace the way that he was supposed to on that sort of action. And I have no idea without being in the room, knowing whether that's a coaching point that has been hammered home that he should know, or if it's not. So that's why it's difficult. There's really no way to know why players aren't responding to the stimuli they're supposed to respond to in the way they're supposed to respond to it, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, and it's vets too. I think it's a weird situation because kind of per your point, these are guys that it's not their first rodeo for some of them. Granted, we do have some young people in the secondary, but some of the guys that have been pointed out as in busted coverages are guys that have been doing this for a hot minute. So it's a strange situation.
I just think defense is so much about coaching, and it's so much about having a plan that you articulate well to your players and knowing what the rules of your specific defense are. I've had a lot of discussions over the past couple months just about what types of defenses are best oriented to stop modern offenses. And there's no really good one answer. There are some teams that play a lot of man and blitz a lot. There are some teams that, like the 49ers last year, they play a lot of zone and rush 4. I just think the through line with all of those is that the assignments and the motivation behind the assignments is well communicated to the players on the team. And I just don't think that's what's happening right now in Dallas.
So, and that, I can't help but go to the big picture in this circumstance because, nobody could have ever predicted, it feels like we are on the edge of mutiny here after 6 weeks. You've got anonymous reports of players saying the coaches are underprepared. You've got the coaches sort of gently implying that maybe the players aren't as bought in as they need to be, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. But at the same time, I've covered enough NFL seasons to know that, things change. It's not going to be this way. It won't be exactly the same in December as it is in October. The Titans turn their season around. I'm not saying that's what the Cowboys will do, but you see stuff like that all the time. So my question is, for a team that feels like it's on the edge of disaster, but is also leading the division, how do you balance those two things? And from your perspective, where do you think this goes over the next, 4, 5, 6 weeks?
It's hard to say. If Dak was healthy, I would still have faith that they figure it out. Just in the same way that it was under the Garrett era, I always thought they had too much talent to be completely held back. And that's probably what I would have thought if Dak were in the lineup. Now, I think everything is on the table. When you're a head coach that's not calling offensive plays in the way that Mike McCarthy is, your job, your entire job, is to create a culture and an atmosphere that guys want to buy into. And if we're 6 weeks in and that's not happening, then this is an abject failure. It doesn't really matter if they haven't figured out some of the schematic stuff and defense is pretty random. Maybe they get a little bit better as the season goes on. If you don't have buy-in already, if guys are already questioning whether this is the right group to have in place, then I think that we're already headed down a road that they probably don't want to head down.
It's a weird place to be where we are at a position where 5 wins could win this division. And not only the Cowboys are experiencing an atrocious season thus far, but NFC East is just horrific in itself. I was reading some stats today in this Washington Post article, and it's actually tragic how far they've come in the wrong direction. They're the only division with every single team that has actually won a Super Bowl, but now they only have 5 total combined wins. There's 6 teams in the NFL who actually have as many or wins or more than this entire division itself. I mean, where does this division go from here? Are the Cowboys still the front runners, even with Andy Dalton at the helm?
I think it might be the Eagles now. As injured as the Eagles have been and as bad as they've been, because with all these teams that are just objectively poor, I think it's easiest just to pick the best quarterback. And right now, that might be Carson Wentz, despite how awful he was over the first 3 weeks of the year. The way he's played over the last couple games, I have no reason to think that Philadelphia might not be the best team when this is all said and done. So I can't even believe I'm saying that after what we saw in September, but it makes sense in my head right now.
No, I'm with you. And, we gotta get through this Washington game, but we're going to get to see a good old-fashioned rock fight between Dallas and Philly before too long. So maybe that'll help clear this up a little bit. My hope, I'm going to bookmark this. My hope is that once they've played once or twice against Philly, we can have you back and try to sort this out with a little bit more information. But until then, Robert, thank you so much for coming on and joining us. You can find all of his great work over at The Athletic. I highly recommend it. Robert, thanks for joining us. Kelsey and I will be right back.
Hey there, everybody. Kyle Yeomans here with DallasCowboys.com, and I encourage all of you Cowboys fans out there to check out Talking Cowboys. The podcast is every week live on the website and on all social platforms at 9:30 every weekday morning. We've got myself alongside Isaiah Stanback, who's actually won one of those during his playing career as a former Dallas Cowboy. He won it with the Giants, but we'll forgive him for that. We've also got Heckma Harrison along with Dallas Cowboys insider Rob Phillips. It's a ton of fun every weekday morning at 9:30. Check it out on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Kelsey, I don't need to tell you, I don't need to tell anybody, the talk of the Dallas Cowboys here in Week 7 is about anonymous quotes and putting your name on it. Unnamed sources are out in the media saying that the Cowboys coaching staff is unprepared and not good at their jobs. The common refrain from everybody, from from coaching to players, ownership even, put your name on it. Put your name on the quotes. Don't be throwing that anonymous stuff out there. Come stronger with it. So I devised a game, Kelsey. We don't know who said those things earlier in the week, but we are going to put a name on it because it's all we can do.
Okay.
We got three quotes, and we're going to try to put a name on it. Not going to do anything to help the Cowboys play better, but, we might as well just try to laugh through this week. So let's do it.
So we don't cry. All right. So first one up. I'm having a moment here because I don't know where the hell to put my hands.
That's honestly, as somebody who touches my eyebrows a lot, that's how I felt during COVID this entire time.
That's a
bro,
right there.
I don't know. I don't know where to put my hands. It's Mike McCarthy. It's Mike McCarthy. Ding, 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 ding.
What is the context of that?
He said it at his introductory press conference. Caden went way back in the archives. Yeah.
I was going to say, that sounds like someone who literally is at a press conference. I was going to say that. So that's good. That's good. All right. Okay, Dave, we see you. One for Dave. What's up next? We got another one. I really like Greek mythology. So yeah, I kind of like Atlas. Ooh.
Okay. I don't know who said the mean things about the coaches, but I feel really proud of myself for knowing all of these because that is Zeke. That is Ezekiel Elliott.
Wow. Sources say you are good at this. I'm impressed thus far. 2 for 2. David Hellman, everyone. Can he make it to 3 out of 3, which is better than what the Cowboys have thus far? So go ahead.
Nobody prepped me on this. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
I'm going right off the dome.
Okay. You know us. Offensive line. We're like tractors. I can't. Just read it yourself.
I'm biased. I'm biased because you're one of my closest friends, but we should just put your ridiculous laugh on a loop for 15 minutes and it would be just as entertaining. Wait, no. All right. I know the answer. I know the answer, Kelsey. I want you to answer it and see if you can.
Okay. All right. So this is either is this Joe Looney? That feels Joe Looney.
Boom! Yes! That's Looney all day.
We are great at this game. You're welcome.
As soon as you knew it was an offensive lineman and it was funny, you knew it was Joe Looney because he's the only funny offensive lineman. So I don't feel a lot better about Sunday, but that did bring some levity to my soul in a week where I think we needed it. So thank you, Kelsey, for playing along. We'll see what happens Sunday at noon, but until then, this has been another week of The Star at Night. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.